let me be as clear as I can be. We are in this campaign to win the Democratic nomination. And our message to the Democratic delegates who will be assembling in Philadelphia is, while we may have many disagreements with Secretary Clinton, there is one area we agree, and that is we must defeat Donald Trump.
Bernie Sanders is to many the embodiment of the grisly, irascible, crazy old uncle who just won't go away. While we have no evidence to back it up, one could consider this to be how Hillary Clinton and her befuddled insiders view the socialist senator from Vermont, who won't fade gracefully into the distance, won't give up his fight to be president, won't just take his warm milk and shuffle off with his cookies to the land of Nod. And he refuses to have his favorite coat dry cleaned because it still smells like home. Or cotton balls. Those of you who have ever lived in the Northeast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. To some, he is the political messiah. To others, the political hack who has millennials following him as if they all had a collar of cheese around their necks, and he holds the meal ticket key. How is he doing this? Call the expert for this and a lot more about our political season. We did. And if you have questions for him about all this and you are encouraged, dial up now, 1-877-NEWSMAX, queue up, remembering that if you wander off target, he may indeed excoriate you and send you off to find your own glass of warm milk and no cookies. Got it? Thank you. Welcome the president at the M Network Branding and Strategy in Miami, Florida, just south of where Hillary and her handlers hope Bernie is living come this time next year. I don't want to say Hallandale out loud. Thom Mozloom. Hello, Thom.
Hello, Ed. How are you?
You've never gotten anything like that before,
wow.
Man. You got to live up to it, brother.
The bar is really high now, man.
It is high. You ever live in the Northeast?
Of course. No, I never lived in. Can you tell?
No, but I just got to check. You could have been as a kid. You know what I'm talking about with the coats.
Trenton, New Jersey, baby. Hamilton Township, Steinert High School.
You know what I'm talking about with the. You go to your grandmother's house, you open the door, and you smell. Whoa, God! It's mothballs. It's Edward. It holds the clothes.
That's a good thing.
You know what I'm talking about.
Mothballs are a good thing.
All right. No, they're not. Not in my house.
Millennials love them.
Millennials. Let's get on to this now. Let's go from mothballs to millennials. How lovely. Why do the millennials love Bernie Sanders, and what don't they get about him? Because people say that he's just putting up false numbers, false tax hopes, pay for college, never happened. What is it?
Millennials like Bernie Sanders because they feel that he is honest. He is not a made-for-TV manufactured candidate like Hillary. It's the same reason why people are going for Trump. They think he's honest. Millennials also have, for the most part, their entire lives lived in a socialist regime run by old people. So, the independent republic of mommy and daddy is a socialist country they grew up in, and Bernie is somehow familiar to them for this. They get everything for free. They get to go home anytime they want. They don't have to pay for anything. He's always there to do the laundry. I'm just teasing. But really, I think part of it is millennials, certainly the younger part, have walked into a really crappy situation. They've grown up in the Great Recession. It's the first generation where when they enter the job force, they're not making as much as like I did 20 years ago.
Which is fair.
The wages haven't gone up.
The
opportunities are slimmer. They do bust their butts to try to find this, and they don't feel like they're getting the equality, and no policies that they're getting out of the traditional Democratic Party or the traditional Republican Party address them. They're the new majority. That's who's coming.
But you said that they think he's honest. All right? Isn't that fair to say about every single politician? We all think and want to believe desperately that they're honest. Bernie Sanders...
No, we don't. We don't believe that.
We
Politicians are at the bottom of the trust zone.
We want to believe them, though, Tom, don't we?
Yes, I want to believe in the tooth fairy, too.
But that's just it. Bernie Sanders is no more believable than anybody else. He's throwing out the same kind of rhetoric that anybody else has.
No, let me take that back.
No, you can't take it back. Stay there. He's a better actor.
Bernie Sanders actually, I think, believes Bernie Sanders, and that makes him fundamentally different than Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows that he is a made-for-TV character, and he's playing the character of Donald Trump. He's a brand. Hillary Clinton has been manufactured by pollsters since she was 22 years old. She has no idea what she actually thinks about anything. She just gets the poll numbers back and says, oh, they want to hear this? Okay, well, then I'll say that.
Okay, if you want to chime in, once again, the phone number 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-NEWSMAX. Give us a call if you want to stay on point with Mr. Mozloom here. Now, you mentioned Donald Trump. Let's get to him. He told the New York Times recently there's a mandate for his supporters to run as a fiery, populist outsider. He talked about changing his behavior. He said, wait a minute, you win the pennant, you're in the World Series. You're going to change? People like the way I'm doing. Isn't it fair to say, look, the man is a brand, Tom. We talk about this too often. He has created this brand. He's pushed it up. It's what has made him popular, got him millions of votes.
It's Donald Trump.
Why should he change?
Because the Republican establishment is scared out of their pants that he's not going to change. This is the rhetoric. Donors and politicians, the traditional power structure of politics, has been upended. And people want him to change and be more like a politician. But that doesn't work. People hate politicians. They don't want that anymore. They would rather vote for Donald Trump than a politician.
But isn't it fair to say that Donald Trump is now a politician?
He's the new breed of politician.
He is a politician, though, because you have to be if you're going to run a country. You still got to get involved in government. He is a politician.
Being in politics is different than being a career politician.
Gotcha.
The politician attitude, the idea of politics driving policy, where you send out a poll to find out what people are thinking so that you know what your talking points are and say that back to them so that they're happy. In our world of politics, what we do for a living as branding guys in politics is more of shaping policy than anything else. And we shape policy by telling the politicians what the people want.
So then, as a branding guy, if you're talking to Donald Trump right now, and I think I already know the answer to this, what would you tell when people say we want you to be more presidential? What would you tell them?
I start singing Billy Joel. Don't go changing to try and please
don't
me.
Sing. But
no, I would never sing.
It works. No. Stick with it because that's what a brand is all about at the end of the day. Good or bad.
That's right.
Now it's up to people to make the decision and see if he's really telling the truth.
You can't pivot from Donald Trump.
You can't pivot now.
You can't pivot now because it's going to be unbelievable. You're going to taint the brand. You have to stay consistent. It's taken you here. What's he going to do? What else would he be?
I just want him to stand up and go,
like me
now
coming
I'm
onto your
going
show.
to be the president of the United States.
Right.
It's not going to
My
work.
fellow Americans. Well, listen, he'd never be heavy-handed.
Yeah, you did go there. 2 minutes I got left here. Let's talk about vice president. We have compiled what we believe are the type of comments and the type of things that, well, let's just ask this. Isn't this really what America really wants in a vice president?
I'm the Vice President of the United States, and I have something to say.
Oh, my God! That is so great for me! And the country?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'll tell you, that's one speaker I'd like to put on mute.
How is Chung?
Did he do this thing where you don't know if you're supposed to hug him or crucify him? Which, by the way, it makes me want to crucify
No,
him.
I didn't have it covered, and it's your job to know that if I say I have it covered, I don't have it covered, and you cover me. Make me have not said that. I need you to make me unsaid it. Make me unsaid it. Make me
I'm a huge fan of the show. I think it happens exactly like that. That's Veep on HBO. If you haven't seen it yet, you have to. So as far as a running mate is concerned, I mean, that would seem to be the perfect running mate. Just prop up the president and do what he wants.
Well, listen, I think...
What would be perfect then?
Do I get to wave a magic wand and they automatically say yes?
Isn't that what a vice president's supposed to say?
The Republican Party should be calling Condoleezza Rice right now. Somehow bribe her. She's the perfect foil. She'll never do it.
She's the better commissioner of the National Football League.
But if I get to wave a magic wand, that would be, if I'm structuring the Republican Party, that's my VP pick. I think he's going to go with somebody like a Newt Gingrich. I think that if he wanted to go like Hell's Bells Republican, he would get an Allen West. And if he wants to just scrape the entire party into the sea and start over and remake it in his, he would
Which might not be a bad idea.
It might not be a bad idea, but then you pick like a Jim Webb, who's respected, but he's a Democrat. You never know. I mean, I'm tired of trying to predict what Donald Trump is going to do. I've been wrong every single time when it comes to him. I thought America would see this as a big joke.
Yes or no? Should he get a politician, though, or somebody who's a populist?
Well, I think he could use somebody to actually get stuff done, and another populist isn't going to do that. He's going to have to get somebody who knows the system.
Selena Meyer's a Democrat, but she'd be perfect for this role. Speaking of perfect for the role, thank you,
calls?
sir. Thanks so much for coming by. No,
we didn't shut up.
I think, well, that's part of it, too. We kind of blew them all down on this one.
Happened.
Don't worry about it. Tom will be back another time, and we can talk to him as well, and you. Rock on, True Believers. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow night, right back here on The Hard Line.